System design is about how real-world applications are built to handle real users, real traffic, and real failures. Almost every system begins with a client-server architecture. The client is what the user interacts with, such as a web browser or a mobile app, and the server is where the business logic and data live. When a user logs in, fetches data, or submits a form, the client sends a request and the server responds. This separation allows the same backend to serve multiple clients, like web, mobile, and internal tools, without duplicating logic. As usage increases, a single server quickly becomes a bottleneck. Requests start piling up, response times increase, and failures become more common. To solve this, load balancing is introduced. A load balancer sits in front of multiple servers and distributes incoming traffic among them. It's similar to having multiple checkout counters in a store instead of one. If one server goes down, traffic is automatically routed to healthy servers, improving both performance and reliability. Even with multiple servers, repeatedly fetching the same data from a database is expensive. This is where caching becomes critical. Frequently requested data is stored in fast, in-memory systems, so it can be returned almost instantly. When you open a social media app and see content load immediately, that data often comes from a cache. Caching reduces latency, lowers database load, and significantly improves user experience, but it also introduces challenges around data freshness and consistency. Behind the scenes, data storage itself must scale. Relational databases are great for structured data and strong consistency, such as user accounts and transactions. However, as data volume and traffic grow, NoSQL databases are often introduced for flexibility and horizontal scaling. In many production systems, both are used together, each handling the type of data it is best suited for. As the codebase grows, maintaining a single large application becomes difficult. Changes take longer, deployments become risky, and teams block each other. This leads to microservices architecture. Instead of one massive application, the system is split into smaller services, each responsible for a single capability like users, payments, or notifications. Each service can be developed, deployed, and scaled independently, allowing teams to move faster and systems to evolve more easily. Communication between these services introduces new challenges. Some interactions are synchronous, where one service waits for another to respond. This is simple but dangerous under high load because delays can cascade across the system. To reduce this risk, asynchronous communication is introduced using message queues or event streams. Services publish events, and other services react to them independently, improving resilience and decoupling. In distributed systems, failures are not rare events. They are expected. That's why patterns like circuit breakers are essential. When a downstream service starts failing or responding slowly, the circuit breaker temporarily stops requests from reaching it. This prevents resources from being wasted and protects the rest of the system from cascading failures. Once the failing service recovers, traffic is gradually restored. Another critical concept is data replication and partitioning. Replication involves keeping multiple copies of data across different machines or locations to improve availability and fault tolerance. Partitioning, also known as sharding, splits data across multiple servers to handle large scale. Together, these techniques allow systems to grow horizontally while remaining resilient to failures. Distributed systems must also deal with consistency trade-offs. It is not possible to guarantee strong consistency, high availability, and tolerance to network failures at the same time. Some systems prioritize consistency, such as financial applications where accuracy is critical. Others prioritize availability, such as social media platforms where it's acceptable for data to be slightly out of date. Understanding and choosing the right trade-off is a key system design decision. Security is woven throughout the entire architecture. Authentication verifies who a user is, while authorization controls what they are allowed to do. Rate limiting protects systems from abuse and unexpected traffic spikes. Encryption ensures data remains secure both in transit and at rest. These concerns are not add-ons. They must be part of the system from the beginning. As systems scale, visibility becomes just as important as functionality. Observability provides insight into how a system behaves in production. Logs capture what happened, metrics show how the system is performing, and traces reveal how requests flow across services. Without observability, diagnosing issues in large systems becomes nearly impossible. Modern systems are also designed with automation in mind. Continuous integration and deployment pipelines allow changes to be tested and released frequently. Infrastructure is defined as code, making environments reproducible and scalable. Automation reduces human error and enables teams to respond quickly to changing demands. Finally, good system design assumes that failure will happen. Servers crash, networks break, and traffic spikes unexpectedly. Systems must degrade gracefully, serving partial functionality instead of completely failing. Redundancy, retries, fallbacks, and timeouts all work together to ensure that users experience minimal disruption. When all these pieces come together, system design stops being abstract theory. It becomes a practical discipline focused on building systems that are scalable, reliable, secure, and maintainable. Understanding these concepts allows you to reason about how large platforms work and why they are built the way they are.